Hello there, dear viewer. Today I want to talk about some Kino Lorber titles, particularly because there is a 50% off sale right now at Barnes & Noble, both in-store and on their website, and the sale is ending in 5 days on Sunday. So do hurry over there if you've been wanting to pick up some Kino Lorber titles at half price. I'm going to give you a few quick recommendations for Kino Lorber titles that I have in my collection, and I'll link to some of my older Kino Lorber videos so you can get further recommendations in those. Of course, you could pick up true classics of cinema like 12 Angry Men from Sidney Lumet. On this 4K version, this is the best looking version of this film, and you also get the 1990s remake directed by William Friedkin on this disc on the included Blu-ray. And if you're able to get the 4K titles from their initial print run, they do come with these slipcovers, so if you're a slipcover collector, these are a great thing to have. Kino Lorber also have a ton of modern titles in their collection on 4K, such as In Bruges, which is one of the funniest films from the past couple of decades. I absolutely adore this one to bits. It's got such dark comedy, great characters, great dialogue, and it is just so great to have it on a 4K disc. You could also get the John Woo action cult classic Face Off, which this film is just one of a kind. The action is brilliant. The actors playing each other in this story is just something to behold. And I have a deep affection for this film. I know a lot of people do, and I think the 4K looks great. One of the best looking 4K discs that I've seen from Kino so far is The Train, starring Burt Lancaster. This is the classic John Frankenheimer movie. This film is just pure thrills, action, destruction. This is one of the greatest films of the period, and it honestly looks absolutely superb on the 4K disc. I also have a load of Kino titles that I just received the other day, both on 4K and Blu-ray. Many of these haven't been watched yet, but some that I have watched are these over here. So I watched the Rian Johnson film Brick, which is like a modern film noir with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the lead role, and he's like the investigator in this story. In the film noir style, most of the dialogue has that classic 40s feel to it, which is something that would put a lot of people off. But I think on rewatching it this time, it does suit the piece, and it's great to have it on a 4K disc. Something I watched just last night is John Waters' Crybaby, starring Johnny Depp on the 4K disc. This looked incredible. I had a much older Blu-ray many years ago, and the film didn't look too good on that Blu-ray, but here it has been given a new lease of life. And it's a real surprise to me that we are getting titles like this on the 4K format, because years ago I thought that 4K would just be for, big blockbusters and films that would sell tons and tons of copies. But here we're getting John Waters on 4K. And I also just watched Cowboys and Aliens. This is the Jon Favreau movie from 2011. This film I could have sworn was called Cowboys versus Aliens, but it's not. It's got the and, not the versus. I saw this when it came out at the cinema, and it's a bit of a mixed bag because it is very much a Western, but with alien stuff in there. And as a genre mishmash, it does kind of work. I think the best thing about it is the characters and the actors that are involved in here. You've got Harrison Ford, Daniel Craig, Sam Rockwell, Paul Dano, Keith Carradine. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is absolutely one of those titles I was not expecting to get a 4K disc anytime soon, just because it is quite divisive. But I think it is kind of becoming its own cult classic in a way. This Kino 4K doesn't have any HDR on it, which I don't think affects the picture too much, though it is quite surprising given that it is a modern film. And also on the back of it, it does actually say Dolby Vision on here, so they obviously just forgot to take that off the back. But anyway, let's move on, and I'll just show you very quickly some of the titles I picked up that I haven't gone around to watching yet, but I'll be watching very soon, and I will feature them in another video. I got the new 4K disc from Kino of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, classic silent movie. I already have the 4K disc from Eureka, so I want to see how this compares with that disc. And also I do believe some of the special features are different across the two. And because it's a film that I love so dearly, I kind of want to have everything I can that is about this film. A Kino Blu-ray that I picked up that I haven't seen before is the film Garbo Talks, starring Anne Bancroft, and she plays a dying mother whose last wish is to meet Greta Garbo. And I'd never seen this film, but it is from Sidney Lumet, who is one of my all-time favourite filmmakers. So for this to finally get a Blu-ray disc, I mean, I didn't even know this film existed, to be honest. I know you probably think that I should know every film by one of my favourite filmmakers, but Sidney Lumet pretty much made a film every year throughout his career, which spanned something like 5 or 6 decades. So he has made a ton of films, and there are still many that I haven't seen, and some that I clearly haven't even heard of before. A Sidney Lumet film that I have heard about and that I have seen many a time before is this one, Murder on the Orient Express, Agatha Christie's classic story, directed by Sidney Lumet in 1974, I think it was. Coming to 4K from Kino Lorber. I can't wait to pop this one in and see what it looks like. This is just one of those classic films. It says on the back it's from a 4K scan of the original camera negative with a Dolby Vision master. So this should look beautiful. I can't wait. I also got the 4K disc of the Roger Donaldson movie No Way Out, starring Kevin Costner and Gene Hackman. This is a classic, one that I wasn't expecting to get a 4K disc, but I'm very much looking forward to watching this soon as well. And then this is a great title for Kino Lorber to release. It's Brokeback Mountain, getting a 4K disc from the original camera negative with a Dolby Vision master. This one should look stunning as well. I'm a huge fan of Ang Lee's works, and this is, one of the most celebrated films in his career. So it'll be great to revisit this on this disc. And then 2 Blu-rays that I can't really talk too much about because I haven't seen these yet as well. It's Meryl Streep in the film Plenty, and this film called Youngblood, which has such a really cool cover. And this has got Patrick Swayze, Cynthia Gibb and Rob Lowe in the film. So I'm eager to watch these as well. I've got a lot of watching ahead of me. And all of this that I'm just talking about now is just scratching the surface of what you can get from Kino Lorber. So to my US viewers, I would recommend going to a Barnes & Noble store if you can and browsing the selection, because I gather that they have been increasing the selection of the Kino titles in the physical stores. And if you can't make it to one of them, you also have the option of buying online. The sale ends this Sunday, so do be sure to head over there and pick up some of these good things. So that was just some quick recommendations for things to pick up during the last few days of the Kino Lorber Barnes & Noble sale. If you enjoyed this video and you want to get more recommendations from me, just click the video that's presented on screen right now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.